Okay, Dr. Fontaine, the Team Dominica United Workers Party will be hosting a special diaspora meeting tomorrow at the Prevost City Mall. What is the thinking behind this forum?
Yes, Team Dominica has been engaged with the diaspora beginning with our overseas tour late last year. And we believe that the diaspora has a critical role to play in the future plans of the party for this country. We are looking to engage them beyond the sending back of money into Dominica. We believe that there's a lot more that can come from the diaspora that can help us build Dominica with the kind of vision that we have for this country. That will include, for example, the introduction of a bond that we are going to be floating to the diaspora, which will allow them to invest in specific businesses in Dominica. We are also looking to engage them in a more fundamental way, say compared to what we've seen currently with this government. And that will include, for example, engaging us in areas where they have expertise. So we'll be looking to get the brain trust of the diaspora as well, to advise us in key areas of economics, of education, and different areas that we're looking to develop in Dominica. So for instance, when we are setting up our factories or when we're looking at agriculture, we'll be looking to the diaspora to provide that kind of expertise. So beyond just the remittances, we want to invite the diaspora to engage us in a more fundamental way. So the meeting tomorrow is to begin to lay out this plan in some more detail, to give them details of the plans that we have for them and for the role that we see that they could play to help us build Dominica.
How embracing has members of the diaspora been to Team Dominica?
We've been very much encouraged. Beginning with our tour last year, we saw that at every venue, hundreds and hundreds of Dominicans showed up. We've been very much encouraged by the enthusiasm. We have also been very much encouraged by the fact that many of them who came into vote in 2009 have decided not to do that again, that they will leave the future of the country to be decided by individuals who are actually living within Dominica. So that has been one very effective and positive thing that has come out of our engagement with them. We've also seen that they've been constantly telling us through social media and other means that they want to be a part of what is happening. They want to do more for Dominica. And we've identified already several individuals who have done very well for themselves, who have the kind of money and expertise that we would require. And they're simply waiting for the election to come in and help us move this country forward.
The Dominica Labour Party for years now has been talking to members of the diaspora of the need to invest in Dominica. How do you comment on our investment climate at this time?
Yes, interestingly, I was listening earlier to the engagement that the government had with the diaspora in Rosa today, and the theme keeps coming up, investment, but there seems to be a lack of clarity as to how this can be done, how this should be, actually be effected. What is worse to me is, or what is more important to me, is that they've not made the investment climate conducive to people investing in the country. So one of the things that Team Dominica is very keen on is to improve the investment climate. We are going to be doing that by removing a lot of the different the red tape that one has to go through. We'll be putting together the merging of some key institutions like Dexia and the Invest Dominica Authority to make it easier for people to know what is required if they're going to invest in Dominica, what they need to do and so on. We think that it is very murky right now and individuals don't know. And if you look at, for example, the World Bank cost of doing business, Dominica ranks very poorly on that statistic. We want to improve that. We want to make it easier for an investor, whether it's a Dominican coming back or any other investor, to invest in this country. So before we talk about investments, investment climate has to be looked at and has to be cleared up in a way that will make it easy and conducive for doing business.
Team Dominica had the opportunity to interact with a number of Dominicans living in the diaspora in the Caribbean, in the United States, and the UK. What are their general impressions? Are they excited about Dominica returning home?
Yes. There's a great deal of excitement. What we found is that there's a great deal of pride in Dominica exhibited by Dominicans living overseas. No matter how many years they've been away for, they have this deep sense of pride and belief in Dominica. Many of them have been disappointed because of what has transpired, in particular, over the last 15 years of the DLP rule. And they're saying that they believe in the vision of and the message of hope that we've been sharing. Because ours has been one of hope and optimism, that Dominica's better days are ahead. And they're buying into that. And we saw the kind of enthusiasm that they displayed in London, in Paris, in New York, and elsewhere. And we are very much encouraged by it. And we believe that with this, if you like, this marriage between the diaspora and Dominicans living there, we can in fact build this country. Yes, interestingly enough, we believe that the only reason for this poll is to announce that the Labour Party is about to win the next general election. Well, we have news from Mr. Wickham and the Dominican Labour Party. Our own internal polling has shown that the United Workers' Party is well ahead of the Dominican Labour Party. And also, Mr. Peter Wickham lacks credibility as far as the conducting of polls are concerned. He got it wrong, for example, in Grenada, when he called the election for Thomas Tillman and the opposition won with a complete landslide. He got it wrong in Barbados and again in Antigua. So there's no reason to believe that he will get it right in Dominica. But more importantly, I believe, is the fact that Mr. Peter Wickham has been polling internally for the Dominican Labour Party. So I don't think it is right for him to now parade himself as an independent, fair pollster when he's been doing that consistently over many years for the Dominican Labour Party. So obviously, as they say, the person who pays the piper calls the tune, and I believe that he's working for the Dominican Labour Party, and whatever he says this afternoon must be taken with that in mind.
You mentioned that the Team Dominica conducted its own internal poll, and what is this poll revealing?
It's revealing that we are well ahead in several. We did the poll in 12 constituencies. That was conducted in October. We excluded Salisbury, Marigot, and Wesley, but it was done in the constituencies of Grand Fond, Cassibros, La Plaine, Roseau North, Roseau South, Roseau Central, Roseau Valley, Soufriere, Maho, St. Joseph, and Corleho. And what it shows is that we're well ahead, and of course Salibert at the 12th. It showed that we're well ahead in all of them. There was only one constituency where it showed the Labour Party had a decided edge over Team Dominica. As I said, it was for internal purposes, and most of what we got out of that survey is for our own internal use as far as the percentages and all the rest of it. But we can let the Dominican public know that it looks very well for Team Dominica, and it's also consistent with what people are sensing generally. Because what we've noticed over the past several weeks is that people are turning to the vision and the hope message of Team Dominica against the dismal performance of the DLP, and people are buying very much into that kind of vision that we have. Especially the plans to create jobs, because the biggest single thing the poll revealed that Dominicans are concerned about is unemployment. They were saying that the biggest concern at this time is not necessarily crime or anything else, but unemployment. And the fact that we are tackling this head on with our bold plan to create 5,000 jobs in 3 years is in fact working very well for us. And people are buying into this message of hope and optimism in a way that is unprecedented. And this has been shown no clearer than in the constituency of the Roseau South constituency, where we have a very dynamic young candidate, Joshua Francis, who is creating all kinds of waves, and it is showing in the polling that he's ahead of the incumbent, Mr. Ambrose George, who has been there for 20 years. I think what this shows is that there is fatigue. People are fed up after 15 years, and of course Ambrose has been there for 20 years. Some fatigue, but also the fact that Roseau South is trending, a known Labour stronghold is trending so decidedly to Team Dominica is a good sign. And not only that, it is consistent with what we're seeing in Grand Bay and in Paybush, two other strong Labour strongholds, where in Grand Bay we're hearing that more and more on a daily basis people are coming over to Team Dominica. And it's very exciting for us. We are very pleased on the eve of elections in Dominica. We find ourselves in that position, and we believe that we will in fact sweep those polls.
There's talk that the elections may be just around the corner, maybe just about 6 weeks away, 2 months away.
Yes,
Is Team Dominica ready?
Yes, we are very much ready. We've already installed about 21 candidates. We have a full slate of candidates that have been announced, publicized. We are putting everything in place. We have been doing our engagements over the past several months. We've been doing block meeting after block meeting, doing our house campaign. We've been showing up our support, not only with Team Dominica, people who supported the United Workers' Party, but also with the Dominica Freedom Party individuals and laborites who are saying that they really want to change. And there are hundreds and hundreds of laborites who have come to that point of realizing that, yes, Dominica should be above the party. And it's a critical point for us in our history, I think. It's a critical juncture in Dominica's history. And I think it points to the fact that the message, again, of Team Dominica is going through. But we are not relenting. We continue to press forward. We continue to move ahead with the message. We continue to meet individuals at their homes, in their own villages, and deliver the message that we believe is credible and is backed up by a team that has shown the competence over their lives, their experience, and so. And we are very confident that we can do it, and we will.
Important to any election campaign is that of finance. How is Team Dominica looking to finance the election?
Yes, one of the important things about this is that you find that once you begin to show a posture of winning, the finance comes in. And that's what we have been finding out, that the more people believe that Team Dominica is going to win this, is the more the financing is coming on. So we have engaged the local business community as well as our friends overseas, and we're pleased to say that the finances begin to come in and that we will have the resources that is required to run a strong, positive campaign at the end of the day.
Anything else that you want to highlight? Here's the opportunity.
Let me see. Wow. Yes, just to say, I think it's important for us to again stress the program of Team Dominica. Like I said before, Dominica is at a critical juncture in its history, and it's an opportunity for us to make a clean break with the past and begin to rebuild some hope and confidence, in particular for the young people. The level of poverty in Dominica, the level of joblessness and unemployment that has gripped this country is unprecedented. And we believe that with Team Dominica and the vision that we've put forward in the whole thing about creating jobs in the construction sector, using tax policy in a very aggressive fashion by removing taxes on import materials, for example, that will reduce the cost of building by as much as 50%. Doing that, increasing activity within agriculture, opening up 1,000 new acres for agriculture by doing agriculture in a smart way. And incidentally, we heard the government announce today that they were going to do something about the export of our produce to St. Martin. I mean, 14 years on as a government, they're now just doing this. But we have gone beyond that. We don't believe in simply exporting our raw products anymore. We do not want to send our grapefruits overseas for it to come back to us in the form of a box drink. All right, those days are over. What we are going to be doing here is to process those grapefruits, process the oranges, process the fruits that we've been given in this country, send them out. We'll never see them coming back to us. But what we'll see is the money that we need to develop this country. So we're talking about a very smart agriculture that extends to the essential oil sector, extends to livestock. So all of these things that we are putting together, all of these plans we are putting together, we believe will come nicely to us. And I've been on record as saying, and as you know, I've been tipped as, or mentioned as the finance minister of this government. We've talked about the fact that the budget for Dominica is way too small for this country, and at the stage of our development, that it should at the very least be twice the size. Now, how we're going to do this? We understand that there is a high level of indebtedness in this country. Our debt is at about $1.2 billion. For a small country, that's very high. So we certainly don't want to go down the road of borrowing. But we believe that we can attract huge amounts of grants. The way we are going to do that is to tie those grants to specific projects. So we'll be writing projects in the renewable energy area, for example, in poverty alleviation, in job creation for the youth, in prevention of crime and so on. Doing those projects that we can then take to the international community to fund in specific areas. So that's one way we're going to increase our grant funding. But also, as we grow the economy, we are going to create a lot more jobs. We're going to create a lot more revenue for government. And with increased grants and increased tax revenues, we can grow the budget and do a lot more for this country.